Constructing your life is about much more than just building a bank account. Each week, join real estate entrepreneur and mindset coach Austin Linney as he interviews guests who are constructing their dream lives and impacting the world around them on a daily basis. If you're an entrepreneur or wanting to start a business, or you just want to hear motivating stories of how others have overcome the odds, you are in the right place. And now for your host, Austin Linney.
Guys, welcome back to Construct Your Life. Happy to have you here today. Austin Linney here. We got Mr. Marques Ogden in the house. How are you doing, sir?
Well, Austin, how about yourself, man?
Doing good, man. We got connected by Mr. Barry. I mean, who doesn't love Mr. I mean, could you love a man more? I don't think you could.
Barry's awesome, dude.
He's the best, man.
He's awesome, man.
He makes me happy. Like when I talk to him, and I love that. When we got connected and I jumped on his podcast, I didn't know he was a wrestler. And when he did that first thing, he scared the shit out of me. And it kind of like took me off thing. And then we wound up talking for like 2.5 hours. Like it was just, he's just great. I love him.
That's it, man. Great guy, man. Just phenomenal, great energy. Funny, energetic, outgoing. This is a great guy, man. I think the world of Barry, man. Good guy all around.
I love it. So I know a little bit about you.
Sure.
But I don't know a lot about you.
Okay.
So I'll let you start your story where you want, and we'll kind of go from there.
So I'm from Washington, D.C., Austin. I went to Howard University, historical Black college university in downtown Washington, Washington, D.C. I was drafted to the NFL by the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2003 by Jack Del Rio, who's now the defensive coordinator for the Washington football team. Had almost a 6-year career in the NFL. Loved it. Great time, great energy, great people. When I got out of football, I struggled immensely with, alcohol addiction and painkillers and narcotics and nightlife because I just didn't know what to do with my life next, Austin. After about 6 months, I finally stopped feeling sorry for myself. I started a real estate construction development company in downtown Baltimore. We grew to be the largest African-American subcontracting company in the area of site work and site development for 2 years. But unfortunately, also as the company grew, so did my ego, my bravado. I started thinking I knew everything, and I made some really bad mistakes. And as a result of that, I ended up making a real big mistake on a big job for about $4 million. And I didn't listen to my best employee to tell me about what I was doing, which was wrong. I shunned him. The following Monday, he came in and handed me his 2 resignation papers. He was gone. And I had spent about close to $2.5 to $3 million of my own money, Austin, unexpectedly on the project. And when I was denied my change order by the developer and contractor, I went bankrupt. Lost everything. Home foreclosed on, both cars repossessed in the same day. Everything was just taken from me and gone just like that. In a matter of 90 days, it took me 5.5 years also to build that business.
Okay. Holy crap. Okay. First of all, what you don't know about me, I was a meth addict. I was homeless and an alcoholic for 20 years.
Wow.
So I've been sober for 2 years and lost 70 pounds. So we got a lot, and divorced and laid off and lost money in business. So me and you are just right there with each other. But something I want to unpack the first part of the conversation, because I have a coaching client who was a college football coach, now building a health insurance business.
Okay.
What I've found about, let's say, the military and let's say sports, right? Okay. So much of who you are as a person is rooted in people love me. I'm in football. Look at me go. Look at my stats. That when that's taken away from you, it's the same thing in drinking. People aren't scared to stop drinking. They're scared because they don't know their identity outside of drinking. And so when you so do you think that's what drove you to the drinking and everything, is that you didn't know who you were separate from a football player because that's who you are for so long?
Of course. Absolutely. You have no idea what you can do. Like, you're afraid to go out and face reality. Like, well, what can I do besides football? What are my skill sets? What skill sets from football transition into corporate America? You don't know these things. There wasn't a book to read. And Now the NFL has done a phenomenal job with like the NFL Trust, with NFL Retired Players Association, NFL Legends, to help players that retire transition more smoothly or as easy as possible. But when I left the game, Austin, we didn't have any of that. There were no groups. There were no assistants. There wasn't no help. And because of that, I ended up for about 6 months getting addicted to some things because, like you said, I didn't know who I was outside of football.
And what got you, just to give it best advice, what got you to the end of your rope where you decided to make a shift?
I was tired of waking up every day, looking in the mirror saying, well, what am I going to do today? What am I going to do today? What am I going to do today? And it felt like Groundhog's Day. And I made good money in the NFL. I had some money, but it wasn't enough to like spend the rest of my life, sitting on the sideline. And I didn't want to sit on the sideline anymore. I wanted to get up and try something. I wanted to do something with my life. And that's when I said, okay, enough's enough. I've got to stop getting up every morning saying, okay, what am I going to do today? Well, drinking at 12:01, going to go play poker at 1, go to the bars at 9, be back home by 3, go to bed, wake up, do it all over again. I was just tired of that. I'm like, man, like there's no substance in that.
Dude, I got to laugh at something there. What's crazy to me is that shows you how ridiculous alcoholics are, that like we're going to wait till 12:01. Like there's something better like 11:30. We feel better about our decisions on some sort of time.
I mean, man, I'm making a note in my file. Like, yeah, man, like, yeah, I'm not an alcoholic now. I got to 12:01. I'm good to go. I'm phenomenal. Dude, I'm an alcoholic. I mean, I can drink at 10 a.m. or 12:01. You know what I mean?
The problem is the problem. It doesn't matter on what qualification that you put it.
It doesn't matter. Like, oh, gee, it's 12:01. So I'm not an alcoholic because I'm drinking a bottle of gin right now. No, it doesn't work that way.
You know what's funny? I tell everybody, this is a story and you'll love this. What I love about fucking the hypocrisy in America, and I think one of the bigger issues, that's why we created a charity to help people who've been through recovery and teach business. Mm-hmm. If I was in a business meeting with you and 4 other people, and I busted out and dropped an 8-ball of cocaine on the table and did it, you'd be like, that motherfucker's out of control. If Bob over there drinks a case of beer a day, oh, it's just Bob. He just likes beer. We make alcohol so like it's whatever, when really at its core is the worst drug of them all.
Oh, it is. It's by far like, people who smoke marijuana, I look at them like, you know what? At least marijuana comes from the earth. It's a grass. And not saying that, you should do it or shouldn't do it, but alcohol is a poison all day long. It is. And so when I was just drinking to fill my day, I literally just felt like I was looking at it. It's amazing I'm still here, the stuff that I did, because I had no control, because I just drank just to feel better about myself and my situation of really having nothing to do other than complain or mope about not being an NFL athlete anymore.
So the great news about America is America loves a comeback story, and you did play in the NFL, so you had a name. And so what made you gravitate towards development in real estate? Was that kind of just like, hey, I like this aspect of business and I can add my name to it, which is going to have a little cachet. People are going to get behind it. Is that kind of what you were thinking?
Yeah, pretty much that. Yeah. And I chased what I call big check syndrome, wanting to make the big money, the big checks and development and earthwork and dirt work. And I was chasing a dream. And then it became an accomplishment when I hit, almost $15 million a year in business, but I was never going to sustain that because my attitude, my demeanor, my lack of professionalism, my ego drove me literally to have a personality that no one could talk to me. It could be in the same room with me, my personality, my ego. And as my best people started to leave Austin, that's when they started to crumble very, very quickly.
Well, what's interesting, and a lot of people have told me, and I believe this, in life, the lessons as you get older hurt more and cost more.
Oh, yeah.
And you're either going to figure out that there's a pattern in your life, or it's going to continue to beat the crap out of you.
Yep, pretty much, because you're going to learn either to fix your stuff or you're going to learn just to let life continue to knock you down, and you'll find every excuse in the world to just do that. Just continue to make excuses. That's what happened to me when I was fired from 2 jobs in the same week. I moved to Raleigh from Baltimore. I had $400 to my name. That's it. I was almost homeless. I had both my cars repossessed in the same day. Everything you could think about. And between April 2013 and September 2013, when I first got down to Raleigh, it was always somebody else's fault. Okay. My business partner, the developer, the contractor. I mean, literally, Austin, it was everybody's fault all the time but Marques. Poor Marques was taken advantage of. Poor Marques. He has no money. Poor Marques. Poor Marques. No. When I had my spoiled milk rock bottom moment where somebody's trash and rotten meat and banana peels got on my body and skin when I was working as a custodian in downtown Raleigh from 10 p.m. till 5 a.m. for $8.25 an hour, that's when I said, yep, things have got to change now or they'll be like this for the rest of my life.
Oh, mother of God. I can feel it, because of course you didn't work the day shift. It was the night shift too. It was almost like the universe constructed this ridiculous scenario of just destroying every ounce of ego that you had left in that moment to create who you are today.
That's absolutely spot on, because before that moment, Austin, it was everybody's fault but mine. Again, the ego, even when I was broke, no money, basically just scraping by, I still had this ego. Man, if that partner hadn't screwed me, I'd be good. Man, if they had took advantage of me with that change order work, I'd be golden. Man, if my employee had learned to shut up and not bring this to me to have me, shun him and him not leave that company, we'd be great. Nope. It took every last ounce of ego, pride, and just arrogance out of me. And ever since then, I have never, that was 7.5 years ago, I have never, ever had an ego since then. Not once.
How's everybody doing? Guys, I want to talk today about our sponsor for May. A good friend of mine, Mark Simpson, runs a company, boostly.co.uk. Guys, everybody knows that I'm in the short-term rental space for many years. And I think one of the quotes he said to me was, you can't build your real estate on somebody else's property. And it really resonated with me because we are so reliant on an Airbnb, a HomeAway, these systems, right? And headed into this year, it's very important that we get direct bookings, and they're the best in the business at this. So in 2021, everybody needs to be building a website to create direct bookings. And you can't rely on Airbnb, plus you're giving them a ton of money. And so 64% of all the websites are powered by WordPress. And these private message companies that offer you the free website, they're not on WordPress. And so it's this trick that they're doing. And, these guys are the best in the business, the best in the world. And I'm not just saying that because I use them. I'm saying that because they are. It's the simple fact is that they service over 600 clients worldwide. And you need to get this done. And you can get it started for as little as $99 a month. And you could do that with one property, 100 properties, but you need to be capturing emails. You need to be sending direct marketing back to these guests. And the way to do that is to create a website. And these guys are the best in the business. When you get direct bookings, you're saving money every year and the profit margins can be exponential. And so if you want to learn more about them, head on over to boostly.co.uk/constructyourlife. Not only is Mark a great entrepreneur and CEO, but he's a great person as well. So what started the comeback?
The comeback started when I came home that morning, sat down at my desk, my little flimsy, broken down desk with a chair that had 3 little rollers on it, but one was missing on the roller. I was so broke.
It goes like this, right? You keep leaning too far.
Yeah, you can't even go and buy a chair if you have no money. And what happened was I wrote down my 3 biggest strengths. I was good at communication. I was good at storytelling. I wanted to help people, specifically NFL athletes, not make my same mistake. Then I found out, Austin, other people were making the same mistakes that we did. As a result of that, that's what turned my life around. That's what got me going in the right direction. And that's when I started the desire to speak. Now, get this, Austin, for 2.5 years, not one paid speaking job. I was a custodian. I was a football coach and trainer, one-on-one sessions. I ran a 7-on-7 football camp. I was a birthday clown, football playing with kids at birthday parties. Did it all just to stay afloat. Just to stay afloat.
I almost feel like you knew, and it's weird. It's a weird thing to describe because I had the same thing inside of me. It's almost like you knew there was a bigger calling inside of you that was going to take. It was going to take all those jobs. It was going to take those things. There was almost like a switch that flipped. You said, listen, I don't know where this shit's going to take me, but I'm going that way. And I'm not going back to where I was. And so what was the first like break that you got that you were like, holy shit, like we're coming?
I got my first paid speaking job for Miller Mott College in Wilmington, North Carolina. And that job was for $1,500 for 20 minutes. And it made me realize that, okay, I can do this. It's just going to take a lot more work, a lot more sacrifice, but I have what it takes to get paid to speak to people and inspire them. Mm-hmm. And then I continue to get some jobs here, there, inconsistent, got some great coaching in early 2018. I went full-time with the business in 2018 and I didn't look back, man. In the last 5 years, between 2016, April to now, it'll be 5 years next month, I've worked for 19 Fortune 500 companies, done stuff for speaking for real estate companies, mortgage companies, big technology, financial planning, insurance, food product service. I'm a consultant for the fastest growing tomato company in the United States, Red Gold Quality. They're number 2 in the country, Austin, for most ketchup used by consumers at 35%. They're only behind Hunt's, who's at 40%. I've worked with them now for a year, helped them have massive growth and success. I've worked for people who are in real estate investors. I'm in real estate businesses myself. I own different properties and I'm an investor in multifamily and different mixed use projects. And literally, man, it's been great, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of networking. It's a lot of doing people like Barry's show and then getting people like your show, and it's continuing to build up what I call that trust, i.e., that brand credibility to keep you moving in the right direction.
I feel like the secret weapon that people like, let's say that you're watching me, like you find who I am and you're like, maybe I want to do something with him. But I feel like secretly you're watching, is this guy consistent?
Yep.
Like, I think all my mentors who are multimillionaires, like they're just wanting to see the follow through. Like, are you going to keep on the path no matter what comes your way? What obstacles come your way? And are you going to look at them as opportunities or are you going to look at them as problems? Yep. And if you look at them as problems, then in that scenario, everything can be fixed. And so I spent 20 years in victimhood. And that's why, like, what's interesting, right? My coach said this to me because I coach people. He said, you don't have to stress about being a coach because you only coach what you've been through. Uh-huh. And so your people find you. So if they find you, then you don't have to worry about if you can help them or not because they're your people.
Exactly. They've already vetted you, know who you can bring to the table. But this is why I tell people marketing is the most critical part of any brand, because people aren't going to find you if they don't know you exist or you've done nothing to put yourself out there to people as somebody that can help them. So I spent a lot of time. I did four podcasts yesterday. I've done 4 today. I'll be doing 4 today. I'm doing more Wednesday. Like, I'm doing interviews and I post on social media every single day. Like, it's getting out there. I mean, that's part of how our brand has elevated to where we're at. We're consistently on top of the marketing game, and we're consistently delivering on closing sales with the right people. And once we have the business, we really excel also in doing operationally what's right and best for our clients.
You know what's interesting? You're doing exactly what I want to do. Like, I'm building out a consultant team. I'm helping. I own a couple businesses. We're writing a book right now. I want to speak on stage. Like, I handle sales and marketing for people. Like, when you can come at it from another analytical mind and you can understand the human psychology and stuff. And so I'm curious, because I know you don't regret anything that happened to you. You're happy for your story. But what advice would you give that janitor where you are now sitting today, all the great things that you've accomplished?
I would tell that janitor to figure out what you do best and build your strength off of that. That's what I did when I was a custodian, had my rock bottom moment. I went home and figured out, of course, after I cried for 10 minutes on the curb, what do I do? What do I do best? And what are 3 strengths that I possess that can help me differentiate myself from the competition? Mm-hmm. And once I can figure out what those are and build from there, then I can have success no matter what I want to do with my life. Because once I figure out what I do best, I can then build and go and scale from there.
And what do you think, as either be a company that you consult on or a personal brand, what do you think is let's say the top 2 things that they get wrong when it comes to marketing or any branding?
So number 1 is they always are talking about their business, always, all the time. And that's wrong. People want to know about you. Yes, they want to know about your business, of course. But what about you or your business makes you you and makes your business special? What do you do in the community? What do you do? What are your hobbies? What do you do as far as like, what are your personal interests? Like, get to build authentically with people about you. Don't just focus on what you do business-wise all the time. And second thing is, people really get screwed up how important, how vital social media positioning, i.e. posting on social media consistently, will do for your brand. I just got hired to a speaking job, Austin, at Oklahoma State University's football facilities for this big camp. A lady's been following me, Austin, on LinkedIn for 2 years. Never reached out to me, just liked some things here or there, has this event coming up, and wants to help me come out, wants to hire me to come out and speak for her. I just spoke to her before I got on the phone with the call with you. She's going to introduce me to people in her network, going to help me get out in front of people, meet more people. And that's what it's all about.
Your job as a personal brand or a business is not to control the way people view your message. It's for you to put your message out there and let it hit them when it hits them. Meaning, the podcast that we're doing right now, this message, maybe it's not ready for somebody to hear it, but maybe it hits them in 3 years and sparks the entire change they're looking for. And I think a lot of people get into this social media world and they're trying to like get something across. Like, they're trying to like, look at me, do this, instead of just documenting your journey and letting it hit people where it hits people. That's all we can do with this. You might really want to get this young football player to understand, but he might tell you to fuck off. But then 2 years later, when his wife leaves him and he lost that second contract, he might go, oh, damn, I really need to hear what Marques is saying now, right? And I think that's where people get it twisted. It's like, all I can do is lead by example. I remember in my 20s, I classify myself as a pecker. Like, you do this shit. Dude, it's the right thing to do. Read this book, do this thing. And what I realized is when I got sober and people reach out to me and said, you don't know this, you don't know me, but I got sober because of you. And I go, I haven't even talked to you. And I realized that it's about example, leading from the front. And you living the best version of your life, that's how you create change.
Of course, because people are going to follow the actions you do, not the words that you say. Mm-hmm. It's easy to talk about what you're going to do. it's hard to get it done. There's a great quote by Jim Rohn. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments.
Yes.
Goals is what you want to do. Accomplishments is what you have done. Huge difference.
Yeah.
So, that's huge.
I have a friend who's a big marketer for podcasts and social media. And he said, Austin, stop freaking out about marketing and literally market your results. That's it. What have you done?
Right.
Do those things. These are referrals from your coaching business. These are the podcast reviews. These are this. That's it. That's all you have to do. You're not creating some smoke and mirrors and bullshit. This is what you've done. You built out Airbnb hotels. You've done this. And when I thought about the simplicity of that statement, it made me relook about my posting and everything. And it's like, I think a lot of businesses need to take that into heart. Stop talking about what you're going to do and just go do it. And then post that.
Right. I mean, it's like like I said, I got the speaking job and post about it tomorrow. And I'm excited to go out there in June. And it's going to be about 1,000 kids. And we'll talk about mental mindset and knowing your self-worth as a young student athlete. And that's huge. But again, it's like, that's what I'm doing and what I have done. And I post about things I've done or I'm going to do, people that I've worked with. And as a result of that, we get more clients, more coaching clients, more consulting clients. But I tell you, you have to market different ways, and you have to be active and consistent, and you got to work harder than anybody else. Don't expect anybody to hand you anything, because if you try to hand me something, I don't want it.
One more question. If, like the real estate part, a lot of people that would have lost that much money in real estate, maybe they'd be scared to put their toe back in the water. Like, did you just count that as a life lesson and, hey, I'm just going to get after it? Because I understand the mechanisms of real estate. Maybe I didn't do it properly in that moment. And I'm is that kind of the way you look at something like that? If something were to happen to you, you're just going to, like, I understand the mechanism of it. Maybe I just didn't handle it properly.
Yeah, it's a life lesson. I mean, all you can do is either learn from it or let it hinder you forever. And so that's like I tell my clients, if you're going to move on to try and get on stage, or you're going to move to try to grow your business, if you're going to move to try to get this deal done or that deal done, just talking about it, that's not going to do anything. You got to jump in, you got to get involved, and you got to do it. Otherwise, all the things you're just talking about and or wanting to be aren't going to really get you anywhere.
No, I couldn't agree more. And if people want to find out more about your journey, they want to find out about what you're doing, how would they do that?
You can go to our website, www.marques, M-A-R-Q-U-E-S, Ogden, OGDEN.com, and connect with us. Reach out to us, send us a text with me. You can do a text me message, shoot us an email. You can sign up for our newsletter, it goes out once a month. You can read our blogs on our website, and just get to know us and reach out to us. If we're a good fit to help you along your journey, connect with us. We're always here to help.
I appreciate it. Guys, if you like this episode, make sure you send it out to your friends, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Construct Your Life with Austin Linney. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and pay it forward by sharing with a friend. Most importantly, take this opportunity to start constructing your life by taking immediate action on what you learned. For show notes, resources, and more information on one-on-one coaching with Austin, visit constructyourlifepodcast.com.